since we have such a hope, we are very bold.
All right, Steve Teal with Very Bold Radio and Podcast. We are coming up on session 3, I guess I would call it.
Yeah.
Of talking to Henry Jarju and my son David Teal, who's the guest co-host right now. And man, we left. If you caught session 1 and session 2, we're at a cliffhanger. We came to. It seems like every moment is very dramatic, you know. I was telling somebody at a Bible study this morning about your story, Henry, and they were just saying, yeah, it sounds like a movie. And I said, yeah, if you just listen, it is very much like a movie. So hopefully we're, telling people your story, and then if somebody turns it into a movie, then great. But the drama of it, where we are right now, as we're just catching up off air, is that the place where you were living has burned down. Your father has passed away, and the older friend of yours that you had partnered with at this point has stolen all your money. And that's where I remember we were from a couple of days ago. I might be missing some details, but Henry, is that what you've got in your mind as well?
Yeah. So that was where we stopped the last time. But also what came to my mind is while all this happened, I also came to remember that there were also another 3 friends that I was together with when this other friend ran away with the money. Then I was with other 3 friends with whom I continue to live together with. They are in Algeria, in the place where the fire got burned, and the name of the city is called Origla in Algeria. So I was with these 3 friends. They also came and met me in Algeria. And then I was trying to help them as well, for them to get to know the place, to get used to the place, and also just to encourage them, because when they came, they were also really they did not know any person. So among the 3 of them also, I knew one already from back home in Gambia, and we all come from the same village back home in Gambia. So he came with other 2 friends of his. So then I was together with him and the 2 friends with them, and we continued to live on the street, the 3. Then it became the 4 of us after this other friend ran away with the money, and
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he then took the money of all of you guys.
Yeah.
Probably. Okay.
No, just
yours.
Me and him. Yeah. So he just took my money together with his, and then he ran. So these other 3, then they just came there and they were new there. So I was the only person they knew. So I was, even though I was struggling at the time, but then I was the only person that they also know. So then I was with them on the street, and but it was really hard times for me as well, because at the time I felt I was just discouraged. I didn't know what to do, what next. So I felt really down, and I was just most of the time just wake up, go to the cafes in Algeria, and then buy coffee, and then just was smoking, and I did not know what next to do. Until one time a friend of mine, who I also met in Algeria there, took me to a how to call it, to an internet browsing
cafe.
Cafe, exactly. So then I went there, and then I tried to he created a Facebook account for me. So that was the first time I had a Facebook account. So then when I had the Facebook account, so then once in a while, I normally goes to the internet cafe and then just browse. And so I was doing that for quite a while, maybe a few weeks. And then one day I met with one of my uncle who was already in Italy. We met online.
Yeah.
And then while we were chatting, then he asked me like where I was, because he also knew that I was on the journey to come. But the thing is, he also went in the same journey, because when I was back home, me and him went in the same school, and we both wanted to go to college, but I went and he didn't. So he took the journey then. So then I stayed after 3 years. So after 3 years, he was already in Italy, and I was now on the journey coming now. So he told me that how I was doing, and I explained to him the situation I was going through at the time. And then I explained to him, of course, that this other friend ran away with the money and I'm stranded, and my family back home couldn't help me financially. So for me, then what he told me was, he encouraged me and motivated me, telling me that you were in Gambia, you were at college, you were a teacher, and you know how to use, you understand what a compass, like a GPS, looks like. And then he told me that just try and look for your transportation from Algeria to Libya. And once you make it to Libya, you don't need to work for extra work to make extra money, but you just tell them that you can be their navigator when you arrive in Libya. So for me, that was also another turning point for me, because I knew like if I had to work for the whole money that I needed to pay from Algeria to Libya, and then from Libya to pay for the ship, I don't know how long that would have taken me. So, but then when my uncle told me this, that also brought hope back to me again. Then the next day when I woke up, I just went back to the street again to go and look for work. Yeah.
Wow. You needed that hope.
Yeah. And what happened after that is, then I went back to the street working, and then I had another friend also whom I was together with in Algeria. And then he also had a problem when we were there, like they attacked him, and then they attacked him and then broke his knee. And he was also from Gambia, but we just met in Algeria in the hustling field. And then when they broke his knee, because I was one of the people he was close to, he called me when I was at work. He told me that, Henry, I'm being beaten up by some just gang members, and they broke my knee, and I'm now in the hospital, but they need someone to come and like make a signature on his present, so that before they can attend to him to make a surgery on his knee.
Wow.
So then I left the job I was doing. I explained it to the person who took me for the job, and he was very compassionate, and he's like, yeah, you can go. And he also paid me like the whole wages, even though I didn't finish the whole work.
Wow.
So the whole day, yeah. So then I went to the hospital, and then I attended to him, and he was they did the surgery on his knee for him. And then he stayed at the hospital for almost a month, and then after that he was released from hospital, and we were still living on the street, and then he came and lived with us again on the street. And his family back home knew that he had this knee surgery, and then they also lost hope. And then they called me and they told me that they can send money for their son, and then for him to go back home to Gambia, but then he shouldn't continue on the journey we were going to.
Right.
But their son was insisting that we cannot leave him behind. We cannot continue on the journey and leave him behind. But even though we all knew that it's not going to be easy, because where we are going to, at some point we had to again walk through the desert. And then to walk through the desert, you need to have a physical good health. But he was not physically, and he was not having that good health to do that. But he was also really persistent on that. So then what happened is, so I taught him like how the GPS looks like what is a compass and how a compass looks like. And then, for example, if you are in Libya to cross to make it to Italy, which degrees you need to follow and how it works. So that was what I taught him, so that when we make it in Libya, then he can also use the same way as I was hoping to use to make it to Italy. So we spent couple of weeks together, and then his family sent him money, and then me with the other friends encourage his family members back home that we will try and continue the journey with your son, because he doesn't want to come back home, and for us, we cannot do anything. All we can do is just help him if we can, and we are going to continue with him on this journey. So they sent him money for him to be able to do the payment from Algeria to Libya. And then we, together with him and others, went together to journey from Algeria to Libya. So then when we were going, because then you can only traveling from Algeria, then you come to like a small village that is the border between Algeria and Libya. And then in that last village of Algeria, then you had to walk to go across the desert, maybe like an hour or so walking. So then we needed to smuggle to pass there. But luckily we were able to smuggle together with him. We carried him one after another. If you carry him and you get tired, and you give him to another person. And then that's how we smuggle and then pass the desert and then make it to Libya in the first small village in Libya.
Okay. Are you saying smuggle? What is the word you're saying?
Smuggled. Okay. To try to so that we'll not be caught by the Algerian police who were patrolling in the borderline, because there was border control between Libya and Algeria. So if the Algerians border control people who were patrolling at the border saw us, they will just they will not allow us to pass through. So we had to try to find a way that they wouldn't see us.
Right. And you did it.
And we did it. We thank God we did it. Even though it was our first time, we had no idea how it would look like, but we did it based on what other people describe or explain to us how the route looks like.
Wow. Okay.
And
so
we made it to and then we made it to Libya.
Okay. And what happens in Libya?
So then Libya, we went to Tripoli. Okay. And then we separated. So because I was going to use the GPS to make it to Italy, and also this friend of mine who's also, so he had his own contact, his own connection, his own like crew he was going to lead in the boat.
Okay.
So he first went and then left us behind. So and then luckily he came also to make it to Italy even before me.
Okay. All right. So Libya now to Italy is going to be boat. That's right. Okay. All right.
So Libya and Tripoli. So then So I also went for my first, we call it in Libya connection, because that is the place they just bring the people who are ready to be transported to the sea, and then from the sea take the boat to go across the Mediterranean. So I was taken to that place, and I was the person to have the GPS to lead the captain which way to follow. So we went on our first we went at the sea, and we had our boat and everything, and then we started our journey to make it to try to make it to Italy.
So when you got to the connection, I mean, you just start telling people that you can be the navigator. I don't really know. I'm trying to picture this in my mind.
No, so what happened is, when you arrive in Tripoli, first of all, you have different small camps where people are living. And then in that camps, you also have people who are responsible for for many people. So you know that, okay, this person is the one whom I am supposed to go to do the payment. And then that person also unto whom the people are paying works with the Libyans, like with the Arabs in Libya. So he is the mediator between those who are trying to go to Europe and the owners of the boat, who are obviously Libyans. So he is the one people pay the money to, and then he is the one also who is looking for someone who knows how to use the compass, the GPS.
Okay.
So then when you come there and you know that you are either a captain, you know how to drive a boat, the boat, and then you know how to use the GPS, you just identify yourself. But first, before they take you, they will take you for a trial.
Oh, okay.
Then, at the trial, they will just give you a compass, and then they ask you, for instance, when you are heading to Libya, from Libya to Europe, which directions do you need to follow? What degrees do you need to go to? And then you explain it to them. And based on that, then they can have like an idea whether you are capable of it or not.
Yeah.
And if you are not capable, then normally they don't take it lightly. They normally deal with you because they know that you are also putting many people's life in danger, risking their lives. Okay. So yeah.
So then the boats are owned by Libyans, but then they are actually not the captain and navigator.
No.
Okay, so they're just owned. Otherwise, it's all then those who are actually trying to make the journey across that are okay.
So everything is just
And then in these camps, then I mean, how many people are here? And are they then all waiting to go over, or are they settling there in Libya, or what does that?
No, they are. Most of them are almost all of them are just waiting to go over.
Okay.
So some of them are like waiting for money because then once you reach there, others you can be lucky that you are not being kidnapped by the Libyans.
Yeah.
And then those are the places you'll be waiting. But if they kidnap you, then you run out of money. Then when the Libyans take your money from you, then you become stranded there. So then you stay there to wait, either for your people back home to help you with money, or try and work in Libya there itself, any kinds of work. So that is where most of the people wait. And then those who do the payment are the ones they normally take at the sea to go across the Mediterranean.
And so in the camps itself, is this then like 100 people or thousands? I mean, how?
A lot.
Okay.
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. It's hard to say because people come in and
all
out
the time.
all
I mean,
the time.
It's just constant.
Every day people are coming, and the same way every day people are also making it to Italy as well.
Wow.
So how big are the boats all the same size that go, the Libyan boats that go to Italy? And this is a dumb question, but how do the boats get back to Libya?
So once the boats are different, we call them Viper boats. They are like rubber boats that you feel air
inflatable.
In. Exactly. So once you depart, they don't get back anymore. They just and when they rescue you, they just lose it. And then they throw it away.
Okay.
And how big are these Viper boats, these inflatable boats? Like how many people might fit in?
Probably like you have 100, 150, 130 people in them.
But that's probably too many.
That is also too many. Exactly.
So okay.
Normally it shouldn't be up to that. I would say probably 50 to 60 or 70, I would say, but not more than that.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
But in this, they are putting like more than
of course.
Exactly. Because of the money, and they don't really care about your life, whether you'll make it or not. All they're after is just the income they gain from it. Right.
Okay, so they made sure that you passed, you could get them, be the navigator. And then how long did you have to wait before they put you on a boat?
So we spend more of like it depends, because like sometimes before you get to the boat, before you go inside the boat, you might be lacking like the person who knows how to ride the boat, or you might be lacking like someone who knows how to use the GPS. Or even if you have both of those two, and also you have like the crew members on board are up to like a certain numbers they want to have, still it also depends if the weather is okay to travel or not. So they also sometimes check how good the weather might look like in the sea, whether it's very windy, the waves. So that also depends. Yeah. But if you have every person that is needed to be on board and the weather is fine, you might not spend like a week at the seaside, or others even just upon arrival at the seaside, they just start the journey, the travel even on that day. But for me, I think it's between 1 week to 1 to 2 weeks. For now, I don't exactly remember like how long I was at the sea.
Right.
Between 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay. And are some of your friends with you and some of the friends with the other navigator? Or
so with my friends, when we all arrive in Libya, then now it's a different also then it becomes different because I am going as a navigator and they are going in a different way. They have to pay for money to go.
Okay. So they're in the line, basically.
Exactly.
And you're ready to go because navigators are always needed, probably. Okay.
Yeah. And they also had to wait for their, like they didn't have all the money they needed. So then they had to wait for some of their family members or however to help them do the payment. But when we arrived in Libya, then it was just everyone went in their own different ways.
Yeah.
Before we go to the sea, we were all living in Tripoli together.
Okay.
And then when I had to go to the sea, then I leave them in Tripoli and then I left. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So you tell us about the boat. I mean, you get on the boat and it's time to go. How long should the journey take to Italy?
So normally when you're on the Libyan shores, they normally tell you the journey to Italy takes you 3-4 hours.
Okay.
But that's not true.
Okay. Yeah. That's not true.
No, you only come to know about the reality of it when you are now right in the boat to go. Yeah. They only tell you that just to motivate you, to encourage you, and but it's really not true.
Because you're here 3-4 hours and you're
you're like, okay,
just get on. And of course it's tough, but 3-4 hours and we're there.
Yeah.
Okay, so then how long is it?
Yeah, it's with the boats that we use from Libya. For me, I think it's almost impossible to make it to Italy if the rescue boats were not there. I think it's almost impossible.
Wow. Okay.
Because when the rescue boat rescues you, those big cargo ships run for the whole night, like a whole day and then the whole night before they make it to whatsoever destination in Italy. Yeah. Okay. So that was, there was no way you could have made it with those boats. Wow. And it's sad that you don't know that only when you are in the water. And then if your boat, like if the boat have any slight problem, then everyone, that's why a lot of people died in the sea. A lot. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So for then I went and then we were on board on the sea, and then the boat was full and everything was okay. And then we started to travel from Libyan coast to try to make it to Italy across the Mediterranean. And then on our passage going through it, I think we ran for a couple of hours, I would say 3 to 4 hours. And then unlucky for us, we were attacked by pirates on the sea. Yeah, in Libya they call them Asma boys, but they are basically pirates who just kidnap you and then bring you back to Libya and then put you in prison and then ask for money from you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we were kidnapped by those people.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And then they brought us back in Libya and then put us in prison.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So then they put us in prison. I was in prison for almost 2 months in Libya.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like 1 month, 19 or 20 days, I would say. Yeah. Yeah.
Why do the pirates have the authority to put you in prison? Like, what are the charges?
Yeah, so when they brought us, when they intervened our boat and then brought us, captured us, put us in prison, it was just something that was going on at the time. It was normal. Okay. The reason is there were no any government in control at the time in Libya, so there was this struggle among the Libyans themselves, where like they have small groups who are just so that was a means of living for them, the Libyans in particular.
Just kidnapping you guys, holding you for ransom.
Exactly. Yeah. So that was how they were just
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so how were you you had to be so discouraged again? I mean, here you are again, like and now you're in prison. You've been kidnapped by pirates. How do you hold up in prison?
So in prison, they put us in a big prison, almost with 300 plus people in one big prison. And then, everything was inside the prison, our eating, food, toilet, everything. You are not allowed to come outside. And they did not ask any ransom from us for the like few days or few weeks, because normally when they kidnap you, they ask you to pay ransom and then they will let you go. But these ones, they did not do that. So then we all did not know what was going on. And then but then later on, what they did with us was like they will go, the kidnappers will go and look for any kind of work that is doable, like manpower work, and then they will take it, but they will come and take us, use us to go and do that work, and then the payment will be, they will pay them the money, and then we will do the work for that. Wow. So that was what they were doing with us in prison.
Yeah, so you were a slave, basically. I mean, it sounds like slave labor. Okay.
Yeah, we have been enslaved in that way, So then we were doing that for a while, and so for example, if they need like someone to do plumbery work, then they will come in the prison and ask like, who is a plumber here? And if you are a plumber, then you just say me, and then they will ask you like to just maybe bring along some people with you for you to go and do that kind of job. So us being in the prison, for us, it was also an opportunity whenever they come to ask for someone who has a basic skills to do a certain type of job. It was an opportunity for you to be able just to even go out and get some fresh air, or even just see the brightness. So then if you are,
Sure,
So one day they came and they took a friend of mine who was a plumber, and then he asked me to go together with him to do the work then they wanted us to do. So when we went for the work, we were doing the work like within the camp that they imprisoned us in. But that day, what happened is, normally when they bring you out for a walk, they secure you with guns, like. But that day, it was early in the morning, so it was only one person who was there to secure us with his gun. So then it was 4 of us there who came out to do that task. So when we saw it was only one person, so among us, we agreed like, let's try to escape, because we don't know what is going to happen. So we saw it as an opportunity to escape. So then we waited him. He also, and the security man, we waited until he went inside. We don't know what he went to do. We all ran through our working tools and jump over the fence to try and escape. So then when we were running, when he came out, he didn't saw any person. Then he started shooting. And then when he started shooting, the others also who were sleeping came out, and then they started to run after us.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were running, and then they were running, chasing us, and then shooting at us. Yeah. Yeah. So I ran until at some point, I took like, it was a highway I was running on. So I stopped a taxi. Then I thought like, yeah, I thought the taxi was going to save me. So then I took the taxi, I entered in it. Unlucky for me, the taxi was one of their own people.
No.
In the prison, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, then he brought me back.
No, Henry.
Coming from, yeah. Yeah. So among the 4 of us, they caught 3 of us, only 1 escaped.
Oh my gosh.
So then when they brought us back in the prison, because that was the first time people tried to escape, so they wanted to set an example to the other prisoners that this is what will happen to you if you try to escape. They really beat us, like with all kinds of tools, wood, irons. Yeah, they beat us, and at the end, my body was swollen. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't lie down. Even to go to the toilet, people had to pick me up to help me and to go to use the toilet. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But that day I felt like even my parents could feel the pain I was going through, because I later on came to realize like they knew that there was something was not right with their son back home. They felt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's your mom and your brothers back home that are feeling it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, my mom's and dad, yeah.
Yeah.
Because later on, when I make it in Italy and I was speaking to one of my moms, then she told me that there was this time when we missed to hear from you for a while. We really felt like that you were really, really going through tough times. Yeah. So then when they brought us back in the prison, and so we continued to live in the prison. And then, so at the prison, everyone like we were all scared and we did not know what to do. So it was after this for me, as a Gambian, there were also other Gambians together with me, but most of them, or all of them, were Muslims. I was the only Christian among them. Then in the prison also, there were also Nigerians in the prison. So then what we decided to do with the Christians who were in the prison, so the Nigerians had a Bible with them somehow. I don't know how they managed to bring it in the prison, but they had a Bible with them in the prison. So it was in the prison for me, I started like to fast, to learn how to even fast. Then with the Nigerians, we were meeting together like once every day in the morning to read the Bible, pray together, and then encourage each other when we were in the prison. It was really hard. Like for me, the toughest time of the prison was the first 7 days, I would say. That is when you realize how important it is to have freedom of movement, freedom of doing whatever you want. And that was what was seized from you. Being in prison for the first time is tough. The first few days for me, it was because at some point later on, I just surrendered and I accept my position in being in prison. And all I was just looking forward to is just, if this means the end of life for me, then so be it, because no one had hope that we were going to leave from the prison, because they were not asking for any money. They just bring you out, work, and then bring you back. Yeah, but with the Nigerians, we started praying once in the morning, encourage each other, and then I started fasting in the prison for almost. Back home, growing up as Catholic, I normally fast like during Lent, but this was different. I started fasting because it was my only hope I saw when I was in prison. I accepted my conditions I was going through, and the only hope I saw was just holding on to God, and doing that is just fasting and praying, spending time as brothers and encouraging each other. So we stayed there for a while, and at some point, all the prisoners also just get fed up, and we were all angry because some are there who wanted to pay, like if they could have asked for a ransom from them, some of them could have communicated their families back home, and then they would pay for them and they will have their freedom, but they didn't give us that opportunity.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we all became like, we reached at a certain point where we were like, okay, we have to try and do something. If not, we'll stay here, who knows for how long, no one knows. So then all the prisoners agreed that, okay, we are now going to try and attack to break the prison escape. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And this is, I mean, how can you get so many prisoners to agree? Like, that amazes me, because if one of them says, well, I'm going to go tell so I don't get beaten or something.
Yeah, because what happened is the first few weeks we were in the prison, why we couldn't have that agreement initially was there were a few prisoners who were more closer to the people who kidnapped us. So they saw them some favor, kind of like extra food, extra, how should I say it?
Privileges,
exactly. So then those ones didn't agree with us in the beginning when we wanted to all agree together. But it reached at some point when they also lose those privileges from these guys, then they also became disappointed, and they're like, okay, now we just have to do something together now. So that was how we were able to do that, to come as one, almost 300 and something people.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So then that happened like in the first day of Ramadan in 2016, because the first day of Ramadan, we all fasted, whether Christian or Muslim. They made you all to fast, like they don't just bring food for any person until like late in the evening, and then they bring food one time. And then after the food, after the time they normally break the evening fasting meal, and then that very night in the morning, they also bring food, because like during Ramadan, Muslims, they always eat 2 times. So one is in the evening for the breaking of the fast, and then another one early in the morning. They always wake up to eat to sustain them during the day. So then when they came early in the morning and gave us that food, they went into their houses to sleep. So then they normally sleep most of the part of the morning towards the afternoon, and then they wake up in the afternoon, some late afternoon towards the evening. But when they gave us this food in the morning around 4, 5, and then they went to sleep, then we, the prisoners, decided to attack the prison to try to break it, to escape. Yeah. Yeah. And what happened was, there was only one small window that that we were able to break to be able to just try to escape. All these other prisoners had to go through that small window to make it outside, because we couldn't. That was the only way we could try to escape. The other ways was impossible almost. So then when we break this small window, and then people started trying to jump, to go through the window to jump over to try and escape, I didn't try. But also what happened is, for me, before that day, even like the night before that, I had a dream. And in my dream, I saw like the prison door being open for us, and then people were walking through it, and then I was among those who walked through it, and then I saw water also like falling on us as we are walking through it. So then when I dreamed of that morning, that was the first day of Ramadan, I shared with my Christian brothers in prison, and then I told them that this is the dream I had. And then after I shared it, our leader, who was one of our prison leaders, and he's a Christian, he encouraged me, and we prayed together, and he told me that just he encouraged me by just being there and telling me to pray over it and don't give up. Basically, it will be fine. But I did not also expect that it was going to happen that night, like the following morning, or I did not even expect to see myself being out of the prison so soon, even in that way as well.
So then, yeah, what did the dream mean to you?
When I dreamt, it meant for me like we would have gone out of the prison somehow, but not through breaking it. For me, maybe they will just ask a ransom from us, or they will just transfer us at another prison or something like that.
Okay. So that dream God communicated to you.
Yeah, I feel like.
Yes. Yeah, I do too. Okay. All right. Go on.
Yeah. So then that morning when we broke the broke the small window and then people were trying to escape, I didn't. I was just sitting because of what happened the first time I tried to escape.
Yeah.
So I was never thinking of trying to even escape. And then people were trying until like more than 30 minutes. There was a lot of movement, shouting, because everyone was trying to everyone was trying to go through just a small window. So after 30 minutes, nothing happened. Those who were guiding us didn't knew that we were trying to escape. After an hour, nothing happens. And then for me, all of a sudden, at one point, something just make me just go and try. I don't know how I had that that courage to go and try. I don't, but I just woke up and saw myself also going to the window to try and escape. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there was a lot of people and the window was also very high. And I was one of the smallest guys in the prison. So I couldn't expect myself going through it based on how the people were just trying to go through the window. But yeah, also in the window, because we had like our toilets inside the prison. So then what also motivated me was one small boy who I was also like bigger enough, I was bigger than him. Yeah. So I saw him like the way he tried to go through the window. When I saw him did that, I'm like, I think this is possible, because I knew I couldn't go through the whole crowd to make it to the window. But for him, he went, and there we had our toilets in the prison. So he stand on top of the toilet there and then try to reach the top of the roof and then hang in there and then holding the roof and then going towards where the window was. But that one also, if you fall from that, then you are now coming down and anything can happen to you. You can break your ankle or your leg. But he tried that and then he make it to the window. Then I was like, okay, I think this is doable. Yeah. So then I just woke up and also went and tried the same thing. But it took time.
How far down would you say the window is? So this is, I'm trying to make sure I understand, but this is like a second window, a smaller window that you get on top of the toilets. The other people that are bigger are going through one window, correct?
It's one window, which is like it's just one window, but it is where it is very high. It's very high.
Okay.
So then, for example, this is the window here and you have the toilet here. So then the older people will just come straight here, but they can jump to reach the height of the window to make it outside. But if I come and jump, I might not even reach it. And whilst you are jumping, others are trying to pull you down as well so that they can also make it.
Oh my gosh.
If you come from here, then here is the toilet. You stand on the top of the toilet here, and then you reach the top of the roof here.
Oh.
So when you hold it here, then you hang on the roof there and then try to
got it.
Yeah, to come where the window is to escape.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you saw him do it and you saw him make it to the window.
Yeah.
And then so then you tried the same thing.
Yeah. And I tried the same thing, yeah. And then luckily for me also, I was able to make it through the window as well. Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to picture all these people like scrambling and fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Later on, when I made it later on to Italy, I came and meet some other guys in Italy that I was together with in this very same prison, and they told me what happened was after when we escaped, the people they caught, they killed almost they killed I think 2 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just curious, how did those guys then escape?
No, they did not.
Not in that evening.
No, not in that evening.
How did they? Do you remember?
Yeah, so they said later on they removed them from that prison and took them to another prison. So they took them out from Tripoli and then bring them back to Sabah, which was like the border between Niger and Libya. And then put them in a prison there. And in that prison, they asked them to pay a ransom for their freedom. And that's how they got out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they start again to try to come back to Tripoli.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay. All right. So you get to the window.
Yeah.
And then what happens from there?
So this time when I got out, because the first time I tried, I was just running on the highway to try to escape. But this time when I escaped the second fence, when I was outside, I didn't run that much. So there was a small dumping site where they draw garbages and rubbish like this, which had some plants like trees over there. So I just went and hide in that place because I was weak. I didn't have a lot of strength, energy. I was very drained as well.
Wow.
So I hide in that place for that whole morning. And then that whole day, I stayed there. I didn't have anything to drink, no food. I stayed there the whole full day until the next day again. In the morning, the time I know that they are now eating their morning breakfast, kind of before they go to sleep. Then after that time, I know now they have gone to sleep. Then that was the time I came out from my hiding place and then walked to try and leave that whole area.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you just back up for 1 second? Can you tell me about that window, like about how high it was down to the ground? Like, I'm just trying to picture that.
You got through the window, then did you have to like jump out?
Yeah.
How high was that then?
Yeah, it was quite high.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe something like at the edge of that window there. Yeah. The wall there.
Yeah.
And then when you jump and you are still inside the prison compound, and then there is another fence again, you need to jump after you are from inside, when you get through the window, and then you still need to jump another one more fence before you are finally outside of the whole prison territory. Yeah.
Okay. So this is maybe 10 feet.
10 feet?
12 feet? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So go ahead and get us back to where, so after a full day, and then the next morning, what happens when you know they're eating or resting or whatever, the guards?
Yeah. Okay. Then I came out of my hiding place and then I walk to leave that whole area where the prison was to try to go to another different I went in a different direction.
Yeah.
Even though I did not know which direction I was going, but I was just walking and hoping that I'm not being caught.
Right.
Yeah, and then I walk for a couple of hours, and then when I leave that area completely, then I came across one old man, and then I asked him that I want to go to Tripoli in a place called Garage in Tripoli, and then he told me that the taxis are not yet running at the time because it was Ramadan, but he told me that later in the afternoon they will start running. And then also I had no money. I'm coming from prison. So
right.
I needed to take a taxi to bring me to where I was trying to go to. But this old man also gave me some couple of dinars that I can use to buy food or whatever, but it was just few dinars, yeah. So when he told me that, so I waited until in the afternoon. I went to a place where I could get a taxi, and then I told the taxi to bring me to Tripoli in Greek garage. And then the taxi driver, yeah, he charged me, like he overcharged me. And then I told him I will pay it, hoping that when I reach at Greek garage, the person under whose connection I went to the sea with, I was hoping that that person could still help to pay it for me. So then when the taxi brought me until Greek garage, and then I asked the people there, like, where is this guy? Like, the taxi driver brought me up to the compound where I was before they brought me to the sea. And then when I asked of that person, then they told me that he was also been caught and he's in prison. And I was hoping that this person was going to pay my money for me. And then when the taxi driver came to realize that I did not even have money, yeah, he just locked all the taxi doors and he brought out a pistol on me and then hit me with the pistol. And then he started just he was angry at me and started shouting, and he was like, okay, because you don't have money, I'll just take you and go and sell you at any prison, just for him to have his money back, because he also the distance he drove to bring me to Grigaras was, it was also far. So he was very, very angry that I didn't have money and I didn't tell him that, and I don't even have money to pay him. So he was ready to go and sell me again to another prison just to have his money back. Yeah. So while we were in that tension in the taxi, someone outside saw us and knew that something was not right between us. And then he came, and then the taxi driver lowered the
window.
The window. And then I pleaded with the guy that I explained to him that, hey, I'm coming from prison and I don't have money. I went under this person's contact, but I realized that he himself is not here. He's in prison now. And now I don't have any money to pay this taxi driver. And he's going to send me back to prison if I don't have any money to pay him. And then luckily that guy told me that he's going to pay the taxi driver the fare for me, and then he paid it for me.
And who is that guy? Why did he pay?
Yeah, he was just like, he was from Senegal, but we did not know each other. But he was also in the same journey like me, so he knew that. He knew where I was coming from. He knew what would happen to me if I didn't pay the taxi driver his money I was supposed to.
Yeah.
So he just showed mercy for me, and then he paid it for me.
Right. Yeah.
So that was how I got out of prison. Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable. You get out of prison and then you're about to go back to prison, and then this compassionate person pays, but you'd already been pistol whipped by the taxi driver. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So then that happened, and then I was living again in Tripoli, and I was not having any money with me. And I started again going back to the market to try and work to make some money for a living, at least on a daily, just to have food to eat. But then I also became afraid, because now I try to cross to make it to Italy, and then this happens to me. So I was afraid what will happen next if I tried next time and they catch me again and then end in prison. So I was just confused. I did not know what to do. And I also don't have any money, and I'm still living in Libya, and anything can happen. So I did not just know what next.
Right.
Yeah. So I started going to the market, doing any kind of work that I could. And then at the end, sometimes they give you food that you can come and make yourself at home and eat. So I did that, and then that was what I was doing for some time. And then someone also who was like, he was a Gambian, and he was also in prison for 7 months. And then he was very, very sick. And then they knew that they don't need him. They couldn't do anything for him. They released him. And then when he came, he was living in the same room with me and other people. So normally when I go to the market and in the evening when I come, then I make food for me and him and the others and we eat. But lucky, unfortunately at some point, there was one evening, he wanted to go and, he wanted to use the toilet. And then he asked me and another friend who were there with him to help him to take him to the toilet. When we bring him to the toilet, as he was peeing, he died.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was the first time for me, like someone died in my own hands and I had to even just close his eyes. Yeah. That was very hard for me to see someone died in real life, like in my own hands. So that, I was with him in the same room all the time, just talking about life, how we were hoping that when we make it to Italy, how he will help his family, and just the memories of him, what he was like in Gambia. And and he was in a may he so rest in peace. Up to now, it's hard for me. His name is Matar. He still know the places from Gambia, Sukuta, and So that happens to him. He died and they buried him there. But still, I have to leave. I have to continue on the journey I was there for. And then after a couple of weeks, like 2-3 weeks again, I still choose to try again. Then I went with another different connection again. And then this time around, I went back to the sea again as I was still going to be the person for the navigator to do the navigation with the compass. So I went for the second time again. And this time we were again in the boat, and then we try again to cross to Italy, to make it to Italy. And then we run for a couple of hours. And then we saw water coming in the boat.
Oh my goodness.
So for the beginning, we were like, maybe because when we were all going inside the boat, maybe our clothes got wet, and then now the water is just dropping off. So then we tried to
like bail it out.
And then it stopped. And then we went further again, and then we realized that, okay, our boat actually had a problem. And remember I told you the boats is you inflate them, you pump them. So what happened was it got punched, and then the air started to lose. And now we are in the middle of nowhere in the water.
Right.
And then so the water started to come in the boat slowly. But yet we were like, we did not know how bad the punch was. But gradually it started to lose. And then until at some point, for example, like this is the boat, and then all this side here is full of people and inside. So let's say from here to here got loose. Like this is where the this side of the boat is where I got punched, and then the air loose here, and then the captain and me were behind here, but here loose, and then the water it loose to a certain level, like it was on the same water level as the sea. And then our boat went inside, and the people who were in the water, like in the middle of the water came up to their chest. And our machine was inside the water also.
Our what was?
The machine to ride the boat.
Like motor machine.
The motor, the motor, So then so for now we feel like, okay, we wouldn't make it. And then what happened is all of a sudden, then came also the pirates again.
No.
Yeah. And then when the pirates came, well, for us at that time, it was best for us to go in prison again than to just remain in that situation at the time. So when they came and find us, for us, we were hoping that they would help us and then even bring us back to Libya and then just took us in prison. We were okay with that.
Wow.
But luckily for us, we were also almost already in the we call it international sea, where like once you made it to that point, they had no right to take us back to Libya. So we have already passed the Libyan water level. So then when they were trying to tie a rope on our boat so that they can pull us, then out of nowhere came a helicopter in the, above us.
Yeah.
But it was a little bit far from us. So when these pirates saw the helicopter, then they just left our boat and ran away. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But your boat is still sinking.
It's still sinking. And then at some point, the person who was driving the boat, we all lost hope. We all thought that was the end of us.
Right.
Yeah. Because we all like remove our clothes, because we also waited in the boat for more than an hour just to wait it to sink, and then everyone dies. Like at some point we accepted our fate that this is it. We are no more going to live. This is the end of it.
Right.
Yeah. And our captain told to his friend also like, goodbye, and this is it, and let's see each other again like after that. And everyone accepted their fate that they were going to die. I accepted mine, and I was in the boat. I remember just looking high up on the sky, thinking of my family, what they have been telling to me, don't go on this journey. Just looking at the sky, seeing it for the last time in my life. It's just a moment where you accept death, because that was it. Like we all accept that we are going to die.
Right. Yeah.
And that was before the helicopter came up. We all accepted that. And when you look at someone's eyes, all you see is just death. You can tell that we are all dead alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was before the helicopter. So was that before the pirates?
That was also before the pirates. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then the pirates come, and let me make sure I understand. So when the pirates come, even though you know you're going back to prison, you said that was better than dying.
Yeah.
I mean, you accepted like, okay, they take us back, at least I'll be alive.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure I understood that. So then the helicopter comes, the pirates they're concerned or afraid. So they take off.
Yeah.
And so now you're back to, we're going to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happened? What happens?
And then what happened was, so we stayed there for a while, but then the boat didn't sink, and we don't know how.
Whoa.
We were all waiting for the boat to sink more than an hour. It didn't sink, and we were just floating in the water. No one knows how.
Yeah.
So then there was this guy who came together with me because I was using the compass, and then they had to give me one free person that I can bring along with me. And he was a Senegalese I brought. So him also, he knows how to ride the boat, but he said his father warned him not to do it. So then he came, like our machine was in the water, and then he on the machine, he tried to on it, and then it worked.
he tried to crank it.
Yeah, and then it worked on. And then everyone was just, but still we all were not so, even the machine was on, but we were all like, okay, the machine is on, but what next?
Yeah. Because also, and you're saying some people then are
others do whatever.
So part of the boat is like under.
Yeah.
And part not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when the machine on, so then the captain, like the one who was driving the boat, he himself was also just surprised that the machine turned on. And then he came and then started like, we were also lucky he was also a very, I think, experienced captain, I would say. Yeah. So when that came on, and then he came and took the machine from this friend of mine. And then he took the machine, and then what he did was, if we are going towards this direction, and then the water was coming this way, so then the boat is supposed to go like this. But what he did is he will turn on the machine and then try to against the waves like this for some time, and then turn off the machine and then try to bring back the boat in this direction again to go towards the direction we were going. And then I was still having the compass with me, just trying to make sure that we doesn't lose the track of the direction we were going to.
So you're still trying to go towards the direction of Italy?
Yeah, because when that also happened, we knew that, okay, actually, we are not actually far from the rescuing area.
Okay.
So we were not actually inside the international, but we were almost there.
Okay. Okay.
So what happened is the helicopter came and then was just going to and fro in an area where we are supposed to reach at, but we couldn't reach it fast because our boat already had a problem.
Right.
So we had to try and maneuver it in this way to be able to make it to where they can come and rescue us.
So once you're in international waters, they could rescue you, but before then they can't really help because it was like Libyan waters or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Is this a good spot to just take a few minute break? I've kind of lost track of time, but we've been going for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just another cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Another what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
Golly, Henry. This is incredible. And we'll just continue on to our next session right after this. We'll be right back.
Therefore, since we have such a hope, we are very bold.